One of the hardest things to do is to walk away from a situation that's just okay. That's fine, it's doable, livable. There's an idea that the enemy of great isn't its inverse. The enemy of great is not average or insignificant or, throw in any similar word. No, the enemy of great is good. Why? Because it's incredibly easy to rationalize good. It's incredibly easy to sit back and tell yourself, hey, things aren't currently broken, so why touch them? Leave it alone. That's why it's a dangerous place to be. Comfort doesn't, on its own, initiate action or evolution. There has to be some sort of stressor to ignite the flame. And I'll get a response, every now and then, truly in good faith, asking, well, what's wrong with average? Why can't I just be? Not everyone can be LeBron James or Adele or Denzel Washington. Eddie, this convo sends people down a path of false hope. Well, hear me out. Because I'm certainly not saying everyone can be LeBron James. But they can most definitely be LeBron James in their own world. And instead are settling for some sort of bench role. I'm not saying if you're not a movie star making $20 million a film, you've lost. I'm merely pointing out that perhaps you haven't even found the courage to star in your own movie, the one that is your life.
It's moving in the marketplace, and it's your time to connect and move in greater areas of influence. You are called to stand out and be a leader in the marketplace, equipping marketplace leaders, business owners, and entrepreneurs to be more effective in the area of influence.
Hi, Shawniece.
Hey, Miss Cassandra, we're back again.
We're back. We're back to moving on in the marketplace. Yes, we are.
Yes, ma'am. So, we're first going to thank everybody who's tuning in right now. Thanks for joining us again, guys. We're glad that you're here today. Yay!
They must like us.
We're pretty cool people.
Yeah,
we've been bringing up some good stuff this season, right?
Right. And you know what, Shawniece? I absolutely love this title of today's show, Vision Over Validation. I know I'm getting off a script for a little, but I always like to look up meanings, okay?
Oh my gosh, I was on it. Go ahead.
So when I looked up the meaning of vision, it said the ability to think about, imagine, or plan the future with wisdom, creativity, seeing beyond what is into what can be.
I like that.
And then validation, recognizing confirmation or affirmation that something is true, worthy, or valuable.
Wow.
So that's why I was like, I'm a wordy. I'm a wordy.
No, me too. I love words. I love studying them. I love the etymology of them. Yeah, origin of them. Yeah. So
yes.
Good. So now we got even more context. Okay.
Yes. And I just think because God's word saying all you're getting, get understanding.
Yeah.
I believe that anytime we put ourselves in any space, let's get understanding.
Right.
Let's find out why we are here. Let's find out what we're supposed to get out of it. And I just believe that everyone is going to get something out of today's show. I really do. And I got to say this piece. If you care, you will share. So now's your time to share.
If you care, you will share. And I'm glad I shared right before we go on.
So everybody, and I am putting it in my chats. everybody needs to go ahead and share this show with somebody, right? Sharing this can, right? I know. And so if you, again, if you care, you will share. So go ahead and share the show so your friends, your family, and everyone, because especially during today's time, we need to be encouraging one another.
Yes.
We need to be a light in the midst of darkness. So let's be that. So, you know, and it's just this, Shawniece, today's episode is all about doing business differently.
Oh, yeah.
Daring to break modes and trusting the vision God placed in you.
Oh, this is my type of episode today.
Woo! Woo!
It's right up my alley.
Right. So I guess it's time for me to start with my rose.
Okay.
And, you know, and something I had to overcome faith with, the thorn, right?
Yep.
So a lot of times when God calls us to do things, people will see it in us first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even with being, I would say 3 decades of being a CEO, I still get nervous about a lot. Because I know I don't know it all. I ain't trying to be it all. So often people will see us doing different areas of media, the marketing, the branding. They see us doing all these other aspects that we have on our, we have a list of it. So we were working with this major client, and I'm going to tell you, I was nervous as I don't know what about the weekend and how it was going to go. And, you know, I told people, I told prayer warriors, y'all pray. But if you want to fast, you fast too. You know, because I need everything to be right, you know, and it ain't going to be perfect, but at least to turn out right. And it turned out to be an amazing weekend.
Look at God.
And we had one person that couldn't be there on our team, but I tell you that me and Jordan, we handled it, you know, and it was
how God would do
that we overcame it with faith, because sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone in order to recognize what you can really do and you're capable of doing. So that's my rose and my thorn for the week.
Okay, now that was good. That was good, because I know you guys were, you know, like trying to, you know, really show up and do everything y'all could for this weekend. So I'm proud of y'all that y'all showed up and y'all got it done. Glory to God for that. So since you went there, I'm thinking too, because I was wondering what could I share, because I honestly I have so many thorns and roses like all week long. So I'm like, okay, well, which one should I share? And I think the one I also want to share is related to business, and because as I've been saying, God is telling me to shift. And when God tells you to shift, and there's nobody out there that has done what you have done, and what he had me shifting to is more of exactly what he called me to do. You know, like people can't see it with natural eyes, and they're not going to understand it. And it's not right. They're not supposed to understand it, because it's what, you know, God has evidently, you know, given to me. And so he had me release a word. Oh my God, a word like that was a little like, because what he gave me to read actually scared me. It's a little scary, right? And so I had to really sit with myself, like, will I continue to, you know, stay hidden, or will I listen to God and say what he told me to say, right? And so I released that word, and I felt good because I got it out. I did what he told me to do. And like, I see already how so many people are putting like hearts and it's blessing them. And so to me, that's the rose in it, right? Like in it, I'm like, God, not another word. Like, you know, not a word like this, you know, but being obedient to his voice and go ahead and releasing it, and it's blessing people. And so that's what I wanted to share this week.
Yeah. And I would say being obedient to God is more important than being uncomfortable.
Yep. That was our session yesterday. Obedience over comfort.
Yeah, really. Because we could try to find in some little comfort spots, right? But let's be obedient to God.
Yep.
Okay, Shawniece, your lead, honey. What's
All
next?
right. All right, so we going. We're moving right along. All right. So now what we're going to talk about is the power of different. Okay. And so in the industry, most people, they follow the norm. But innovation, it requires difference. It requires you to be different, in fact. And so with that being said, Ms. Cassandra, I'm actually going to throw it back to you, and then I'll go, because I just want you to give kind of like a personal testimony of where you felt like, you know, you were being outside of the norm, or you were innovative.
Well, I would say, everybody know that God gave me a vision during our Freddie Gray uprising in 2015. I'll say 2014. Yeah, 2015. When I saw a group of young people in the streets of Baltimore trying to tear the place that was built up by their ancestors and by older people. And I saw them trying to tear it up. And I said, well, God, why? I just cried out to, first of all, I said, where are the leaders? And then I said, God, where do these children, do they even have a vision or hope for the future? He said, no. And that's when I began to get on radio. He gave me an idea, and I, put it out to several radio stations, and actually got 3 offers to have a show on 3 different broadcasts. But I had a fear. I felt that I did not pronounce my words correctly. I felt that my speech was too country, because I'm from the South. And so God challenged me, and this was 11 years ago. Before this, I went into a radio station in Harford County, and somebody asked me, did you ever think about doing radio? I thought about my inadequacy and what I wasn't capable of doing. Mm-hmm. And I said, absolutely not. And God kept reminding me there was an opportunity of an open door.
Wow.
And so I promised God, if it ever happens again, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to walk through that door. So here we are sitting in this space today because I say yes to God. So that's so
good. That's so good. And I think so many entrepreneurs, we go through that space where, like, hey, am I even equipped? Can I handle this? And we look for validation when God already told us what to do, right? And so the one I'll share real quick is that when I first started business, well, I started my first business back in 2011, but when I got like serious about business, it was about like 5 years ago. And I remember like feeling like I don't want to start another business without God in it. Like, how we start, not that I don't still have a personal relationship, but like how we are now, where people boldly declare Jesus and things like that. And, in business and in the marketplace and stuff, it wasn't always like that. Right. And so I remember I always would do it, but it would be like subtle. It would be like, on private calls and things like that. And then God started telling me, like, no, like, you're not in this alone. I'm in this with you. And so I realized that without him and walking, with him and allowing him to be in the center, I would find myself frustrated. I would want to give up at times. I would doubt. And so many, things would come into my mind. And so when I started building, understanding that he's in everything that I do, and I don't have to get validation from anybody else, it just pushed me to be more bold. And then other people began to see that, and actually that attracted them to want to work with me. So it's like a disguise. It seems like, when we think if we don't speak about God in our businesses, that, people think that she's too churchy or she the Jesus freak, all of that kind of stuff. But the truth of the matter is, the more bold that I became, is actually what made people, want to book me or had me help them in their businesses. And so that was one time I had to come out of my comfort zone. And that's also what shaped my path to, like, here I am now. So
saying yes to God is saying yes to God. You get the biggest reward. You get the biggest reward. And that brings us right into our
scripture.
And that's Psalms 12:2. And this is in the New Living Translation. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing what you think. Then you will learn to know God's will. Come on. Once that mind's transformed, you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. So there goes the word right there saying you got to first allow God to transform your thinking. Okay.
So good. So good. All right. So today, again, we are talking to someone who built a business model the world wasn't expecting, but they absolutely needed. And so I want to just take a few moments to welcome my friend, my brother, Coach Derrick Harper. So let me tell y'all a little bit about Derrick. He is nationally... Sorry.
Introduce him, and we're going to bring Derrick on after the commercial. But go ahead.
So yeah, Derrick, he is nationally recognized youth speed coach and digital entrepreneur who built a 6-figure online business teaching kids how to run faster in 30 days or less without leaving the backyard. Now, with over 15 years of coaching experience, he's trained 5 U.S. top athletes, helped 14 earn Division I scholarships, and developed one of the most effective online speed training programs in the country. All right. And now Derrick, he also helps parents and coaches master the business of speed, turning athletic performance into impact, income, and opportunities. And so I want to welcome to the stage my brother. He's a dad. He's a husband. He is an innovator, Derrick Harper.
So right after this commercial break, you'll hear how he turned his vision into a global impact business. Right after this commercial.
Are you looking to elevate your brand into a business? Are you ready to use your voice of truth? Elevation Global Media Group is your one-stop shop for all things media. Elevation Global Media Group has you covered. They offer podcast production, graphic design for logos and websites, branding, marketing, and so much more. Head on over to elevationglobalmediagroup.com for more info or call 443-307-1241. That's 443-307-1241.
Welcome, Derrick.
Derrick!
How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Oh, we are grateful to have you here. We truly are.
Oh, okay, good.
So we want to know about your entrepreneur story. Can you tell us about that?
Okay, so you want the long version or the short version? Because I could talk a lot.
We probably don't have time for the long version. So give us a short.
Okay. I've done many things. I've started with pressure washing and done a lot of things that didn't really fail. I just quit at them. I'll say that. And so anyway, one of the things that I learned from just reading books and things is that the thing that you're really good at, that you do with the least amount of effort, is probably the thing that you should just go after. And so I started doing an inventory. I said, what is that thing for me? And that thing for me was coaching. I said, this is the only thing that I know that I could go. Like I tell my wife all the time, put a map on our wall, give me a dart, and I'll throw it. And wherever it lands, I promise you I can go there and I can win. You know, I could take a track team and win. Right. And so I decided, I would go and start teaching kids how to run faster, because that was a skill that I had. And I've tried a bunch of different stuff beforehand, and again, didn't fail. Just stop doing it. But it was moving kind of slow. I started this. I put one video out. When I started on Instagram, I put 3 videos out. My 3rd video hit 1 million views, and I started getting a lot of people with interest, and it just kind of just took off from there.
Wow. Go ahead, Shawniece.
I got muted. I'm sorry. Okay, Derrick. So, okay, I love that. So, what gave you the boldness to deviate from traditional coaching, the traditional coaching model?
It's funny that to answer that question is literally was my laziness. Just honestly, just being honest, it literally was my laziness. Like, I used to be a teacher, right? And that laziness may seem like it's a negative thing, but for me, it's actually a positive thing. It's actually a thing that helped me be innovative in the space that I'm in. When I was teaching, I didn't necessarily, I liked the lecture part of it, but I didn't necessarily like the standing up and walking around and doing all the regular teacher things. But then I heard about a flipped classroom, and that's basically where you do your videos and things like that, and the kids watch the videos and they do the work, and then you just kind of just check over and help make sure they do that. And I had always been in video production. I graduated from the Norfolk State University with a broadcast degree, so I knew how to do videos and things. So I did that, and out of my laziness, I flipped my classroom, and it actually helped me get better reviews from my principal. So I kind of brought that over into training kids, where I was starting out, where I was just actually working with a bunch of kids. And I quickly realized, like, man, I love coaching, but I don't like doing this one-to-one and having to leave my house and going out and being fighting traffic to get to the place and getting there and doing like that. Really just, and I was like, there's got to be a way that I can just change and be able to coach these kids without having to actually go there. And so I thought, well, we're in this age, post COVID, where we've learned how to use things like Zoom and AI and things like that. So I thought to myself, hey, why don't I just give it a try?
Oh, that's good. And I like even how you're using that word laziness to turn it into something positive. Yeah. Although when I hear that you were actually so smart that you was like, no, I want simplicity.
Right.
Yeah. So what you hear is that he wanted to work smart, not hard.
Exactly.
But I also like how you took all the skills, because I believe that, you take what's in your hand, basically. And you have, and if you think about 5 things that you have in your hand with that one vision, and I always say try to create at least 7 levels of income, 7 ways to get income. So you graduated from Norfolk State, woo, Virginia, because I'm a Virginia girl. So, you took that, even though you said you had to make some adjustments according to what you liked, which is fine, because often I always tell people I cannot talk about something I don't like.
Right.
Or I don't
build a business you hate.
Right. Why would you do that? Or something, because so many people have tried to get me to do several different things, because they see that you're a go-getter, they see you're a motivator. Hey, won't you? I said no. Because I don't even know anything about it, and that's not a part of what God created me to do. So I saw how you incorporated all the things that you love to do, and you created this unique platform, and you even did it through video. Did you start this business for COVID, or was it before COVID?
It was after
COVID, where everyone,
I believe,
perfect. Yeah, well, that's perfect, because people were in the state of mind of staying home to be safe, and I think what COVID did was teach us to be innovative with the stay-at-home model and not getting stuck in traffic, as you said you hated.
Right.
But it did teach us to be innovative. So I just applaud you for that, Coach Derrick. Now let me ask you, when criticism or doubt, you face stepping out. I'm pretty sure you experienced some criticism and doubt. How did you handle that?
The criticism typically happens on the internet, on those social media posts. And so it's funny, because every time I hear from God, I actually do what God tells me to do, and then sometimes I feel like I'm not sure, and then God always confirms it after. So typically when I get that criticism from people and they're like, that's not the right way to do it, and that's not the right thing to do, I'm saying, I always respond with, you know what, you got a good point, but since you're so knowledgeable about this, why don't you start your own page and you go over there and teach your philosophies so that people can follow you and you can teach them the way that you do it, right? And I was watching a video of Myron Golden the other day as I was on my trail walk or trail run or whatever I do. And he basically says the same exact thing. He's like, you put this commentopedia is what he calls it, this commentopedia on my page. He's like, and then I go to your page and you only have 4 followers. So why don't you take this commentopedia over there, make a YouTube video about it, and then help other people, learn the way that you do it. And so that's kind of how I handle it. But the other thing really about it is I just don't pay attention to it. I know that I have no competition. And I know that if I'm going out, I'm only competing against myself to do better than I did the last time. So, I just don't pay attention to all of that.
Right. And it's something that you said there, Coach Derrick, because of course, in today's business model, quote unquote, they ask you, who is your competitor, right? Who is, and I say the same thing. I really don't watch my competitor. I really don't, because if I take too much time to study my competitor, then I will miss the uniqueness in what God is telling me to do. Right. So yeah, you do have, and I'd rather not have competition. I'd rather have collaboration, to be honest. Let's collaborate to make this better. But you said something about when the critics come, because I had that one time on Facebook too, Coach Derrick, everybody, will give you advice, but they were never bold enough to step out and do it themselves. Right. So I had someone say something about your marketing company. I said, oh, okay, I saw it. I missed it. I had I think spelled something wrong. I said, yep, I missed it. But that shows that we are human. Right. Yeah. And humans do, and they're not perfect. I said, and then she went into something. I said, well, tell me, how do you think I should do it? Right. Crickets.
Right.
Crickets. Nothing else. Really. And that's what I see. A lot of people will have things to say, but they are not willing, because I often say this: if you're going to complain to me, bring me 5 solutions. Right. Bring me 5. Bring me you, and sometimes I'll even let you buy and you just bring me 1. But when you're going to complain and not having the willingness to do what I had to do to get here, to do what I had to do to stay here, then you are just making noise. You really are. You're just making noise. And you're not going to get me distracted. You're not.
Right. Yeah. And again, like I said, I don't pay attention to it because honestly, you're not paying anything that I have over. You're not paying anything over here. And so, and then my followers will usually get on them too. So.
Oh yeah, they're gonna back you. Yeah. Especially those that know what it took for you to get to where you are. They're gonna back you, and that's it.
Oh yeah, they will.
So good. I'm taking that, Miss Cassandra. Next time somebody complain to me, I'm saying, go back, come back when you got 5 solutions. That was good. That was good. All right, Derrick. So next question. How has faith fueled your vision? How would you say faith has fueled your vision?
Oh man, well, faith, it literally keeps me going. It keeps me going because I always can see the light at the end of the tunnel with this thing. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed. And I know that if I do not quit, that I have 100% chance of success. So faith fuels me in my decisions. Faith fuels me in my walk every day in this thing, because it does get tough. For those of you who are in this and you've experienced at least 12 months of entrepreneurship or being a business owner, you understand how tough it is. And you're not alone. This gets very, very good at times, and then it gets very, very bad at times. I wouldn't call it bad. It gets challenging.
Better
Very, very
preach.
challenging. Right.
Preach to these people.
It gets very, very good at times and very, very challenging at times. And people would say that people close to you are going to start saying you're crazy and all this different type of things. And it's like when you first start, everybody's like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then once they see, some struggle, and they're like, you shouldn't have did. I never thought that I would get that from the people who are closest to me, the people that love me. And like, without the faith in God, without vision, without my, just having that mustard seed faith to say, I know that I'm going to make it, I probably would have folded 10 times, because literally, as they're saying, I literally got people close to me. I mean, I'm talking about, I've gotten, Jesus was persecuted. I've gotten persecuted by people that are close to me. And it hurt, but I'm still here, and I kept the faith, because I know without a doubt that there's going to be success that comes out of it. And then when success comes, now everybody's rooting for you again. So that's
how it works.
That's so good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are you good?
No, I was just going to say, because I remember, we met in DBN, and I would just see you, like, even when you was going through like the troubles of times, you were still just like beating that rock, like, baby, we going to the top. It don't matter what I'm faced with. And that was very inspirational. And that was something that, drew me to you, because you was always positive. You was always going at it. And so, yes, I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Right. And you know what? The thing about it is, if we look at people that, we can read about success stories all day long. And this is where I think others in our circle forget that those very same people that you're watching on TV, you're buying their products, you are trying to go to their conferences, they're us.
Right.
But the whole thing is, they kept going, and we have to keep going also in order to get to the place where God wants us to be. But they forget that that's the people that that's your neighbor, that's your friend, that's your teacher, that's your cousin, that's any, these are people, you're supporting them, you're buying into them, but they started somewhere. They started from, and some of them started from nothing. They what we call bootstrapping, to get our visions and dreams taken care of. But when they see it, like you said, Derrick, when they see something happen, it's more of a, they want to gravitate, they want to gravitate to you, or they want to say, yeah, I believe. No, how about you do that when we are at the bottom of this thing, and we need you to buy into this, because my whole thing is, I'm going to die empty. I'm going to die. I don't want to take my gifts to the grave. And I definitely don't want to be in a place where I'm disobeying God because it's not comfortable, it's not convenient, or if you don't understand it or don't like it. Because we get our greatest reward as entrepreneurs when we obey God, and all of a sudden the miraculous happen. And he's like, wow, God. He said, I told you I got you. God is like telling you, he'll send this like, I told you I got you. I just need you to continue with this. I just need you to keep doing it. But again, everybody's not going to see it. And my favorite statement about that is, everybody don't see it because they wasn't there when God gave it to you.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
They wasn't there when he gave it to you. We're going to go right into segment 3 here, scaling a high value digital model. We're going to talk about the scaling of this. How does the virtual athlete training, and I was going to phrase, I'm going to be honest, I was going to phrase this in a different way. Mm-hmm. Derrick, tell me what you're doing if I'm a new person, if I'm on the elevator, and then here's your elevator pitch, right? Okay. I'm on the elevator with you. We are in New York. You about to get a $10 million contract. And you don't even know I'm the one with the check and the pen. You don't know. How would you sell this to me? This training.
I hate elevator pitching.
Because you know what? I could be the one on the elevator with the what you doing here? You know, and all of a sudden you get off the elevator and me and you walk in the same direction. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna write you that check.
Okay, so you want me to do this as if I'm really speaking to you, or you want me to explain the process?
Well, you have to. Well, first of all, you have to explain the process in order for me to write you the $10 million check, right?
I'm saying, do you want me to role play, or do you want me to just explain the process?
I want you to explain the process.
Okay. So if I want to, we get to talking about the program, okay? And so what I would do is I need to let you know that what mistakes that your kid is making, because I need to change the mindset that you have about what you think is possible, right? So most people think that the way to get their kids to get faster is that they have to go out and they have to lift a bunch of heavy weights. They think they have to go out and train for hours. They think their speed has to increase in the next speed increases over time, like months and years and things like that. These are all of these limiting beliefs, if you will. We that makes sense to business people. All these limiting beliefs that people have. So in every industry, there are limiting beliefs that the customer has. So I have to break those beliefs. That's the first thing I have to do. Okay. So I'm going to break your belief about the time that it takes. I'm going to break your belief on what it takes to actually do it, because you've been programmed all these years that this is the way that it works. And I'm here to tell you that there's a better way. Okay. So I'm saying the way to do it is not having to do those things, and it doesn't take you a long time. All right. So people with a lot of money. So you're saying $10 million, people with a lot of money, they want convenience. They want to be able to get it done fast, and they don't want to have their hand into it, because rich people they want to buy their time back. They don't want to have to use their time to do anything. So if you're selling something to someone rich who has $10 million, they don't want to have to do any work, right? They want you to do it for them, get it done. So I already know that. So I'm going to say, I can teach your kid how to run faster in the next 30 days, and they don't have to leave the backyard. You don't have to go out there and stand with them. You don't have to lift any heavy weights. You don't have to run any long races. You don't have to run up the hill or downhill. You don't have to buy any gadgets or any of that type of stuff. I can do that for you in the next 30 days or less, so your kid can go out and they can dominate their sport. Okay, so that's the first part of it. But then we have to speak to people's desires. Okay, it's not about just simply telling them that I can get your kid to run faster. That's the result. But why do they want that result? Why do I want my kid to run faster? Because you want them to get more playing time, because you want them to dominate their sport. You want them to get a scholarship. You want them to make more plays. You want them to get more awards. So I'm going to speak to you about all of the things that you desire the most, not this kid getting faster, because we want transformation. So after I speak to you about, you think your kid has to do this, I can get your kids to run faster in the next 30 days. And guess what? When your kids start running faster, I can guarantee you that they'll run fast. They'll get more plays. They'll get more playing time. They'll make more plays. They will. They'll gain a scholarship. They'll set themselves up to play at the next level. So if you want your kid to go from good to being elite, right? Because that's what you want. You want your kid to be elite. You want them to go out there and dominate, right? Yeah. Well, this is the way to do that. How do you spell your first name?
I know that's right. You know, I love that.
How do you spell your first name?
But I love that. Break first the limiting beliefs.
Right.
And then you speak to their desires. And their desire is for their child to be good and elite. Right. I love it. I love it, Derrick. Okay, I'll have your check for you when you come to the office.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, and I'm invested there. If you gonna give us check it, then now I'm invested.
I'm
Because that was good.
Okay.
I'm even gonna show how we going through. We're gonna go to the major the Nikes and the Under Armour. We're gonna go after them.
That's cool.
We're gonna work this. We're gonna work it.
Wow.
I love
All
it.
right.
Shawniece?
All right. So now I guess we gonna go ahead and talk about the key takeaways. So we just obviously just told about some of them that we just recapped just now, but also it just reminds us that basically your calling is often revealed through innovation. Because this is what you really get solidified, like, oh, you know what? I am not little Coach Harper, but the big one, right? And when you decide this, you're like, look, I am him. And so also, you know, that following crowds limit your impact, because you literally said, like, you know what, even people told you, like, no, you know, you got the pushback, that's, you reminded you, instead of listening to them, to go harder on what you was doing. And so that was another takeaway that I got from it.
Also proved, Coach Derrick, that you don't need a physical space to deliver transformation.
Right.
Right. I love that. And also how you broke everything down from me and you being in that elevator, and you telling me the main important focus points that you're going to focus on. So that's great. Now, what gap has God given you eyes to see? Is that for our audience? We want you, audience, to
drop it in the comments.
In the comment, what gap has God given you eyes, or me, yourself, eyes to see? And drop it in the comments. And the challenge this week, Shawniece, is what?
Right before the challenge, I want them to, if they drop it now, that's cool. But if they don't, if you're watching this replay, I want you to drop replay gang in the chat so that we know you caught the replay. Mm-hmm. And so the challenge this week is to take one bold step towards the thing that makes you uncomfortable. Can we just get uncomfortable this week? Everybody, can we just do one thing?
Right, I'm gonna need to go look at Derrick videos for me. I need to be able. I'm training.
Okay.
But you know, I need to go look at your videos. And Coach Derrick, how can others see your videos? How can they get in contact with you? We just thank you for being here, but we need our viewers to know how to connect with you.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you can find me on Instagram at the Coach Harper, THE, the Coach Harper. Quick note, I just hit 100,000 followers today.
Wow.
100,000 followers on there today. If you Google the #1 youth speed coach in the world, guess I'll come up first. Don't argue with me, argue with Google. Don't argue with me, argue with Google. So I can claim the #1 youth speed coach in the world title. So at the Coach Harper, at Speed for Kids on TikTok, and then can I give them my website? Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so I have a website, speed2dominate.com. I have a 4-week youth speed program there. You get 21 speed drill videos, 4 weeks of speed workouts, and a speed tracker, and that transformation from good to great. And it's only $10. So
thank you again. Thank you again, Coach Derrick. So can you just, share something, a brief nugget you want to leave us with, and then pray for our entrepreneurs, pray for our viewers?
Something you said earlier about, just kind of just taking inventory of the things that you have. There was a story in the Bible, and please forgive me if you guys know, you can help me with the names. I cannot remember the lady's name, but she had some sons, and her husband actually passed away, but he left her with a lot of debt. And she goes to the man of
Alicia.
Say it again.
Elijah.
Yes. Elijah.
Yes. And she says,
the widow is how they identify her, as the widow.
Yeah, the widow. So she goes to him and she says, she's like, my husband died. I got my kids. I have all these debt to pay. I don't have anything to give. I don't have anything. And so Elijah looks at her and he says, well, what you want me to do about it? And he says, I tell you what do you have in your house?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have in your house? And she went in, she had these and forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. She has the things that she keep the oil in.
Yeah.
And so she went and she borrowed oil and she sold her oil.
Yeah.
And she sold and she had enough, and then she had oil left over to sell, and she had enough to pay the debts and everything. So what I want to leave to you is, what do you have in your house? What do you have in yourself? What skills do you have right now that you can take out to the marketplace, right? Because you have something inside of you that you can take out to the marketplace and put out there so you can, pay for whatever you need to pay for. Is it debt? Is it college? Is it, a lifestyle? Is it, investing into things? Don't sit there and say, I have this problem. Look inside yourself. God has put something unique in all of us that we can take to the marketplace, because there's somebody who wants to know what you know already.
Woo, I love that.
It's good.
Yes. What skills do you have? I love it.
Okay.
And Shawniece is going to invite our viewers to interact and share stories. Right?
Yes. Viewers, share stories and let us know what is in your house.
Yeah, what is in your house? Tell us how you are doing business differently, right? So you can tag moving in the marketplace. And I want to give you a little tease about the next episode topic. Tune in next week for our next episode. No shame, gain. No shame, gain. Real conversation that turn true struggle into strategy and pain into purpose. This episode explores how shame can paralyze people emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, and how freedom and growth begin when we confront our past with honesty and grace. It's about turning what once made you hide into what helps you heal and help others. So right now, we want you to stay because we have a gift for you.
Salvation is free to us. I've heard different people on many occasions try to push this narrative that salvation is the standard that one must obtain by doing some very outrageous things. I mean, they set the bar so high that I'm pretty sure only Jesus himself would be able to maintain it. I've even known people to say, I need to get my life together before I start my life with Christ. Brothers and sisters, we are not saved on the basis of our own performance. We're human, and so perfection for us is absolutely impossible. In Romans chapter 10, we are clearly informed that if you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is by believing in your heart that you are made right with God, and it is by openly declaring your faith that you are saved. Guys, that's it. You don't have to do anything for him to receive his love and salvation. But what's interesting is that once you receive his love, you start wanting to put forth effort to follow him. Sure, we'll have some downfalls. God knows that. But mistakes don't take away the gift of salvation. If you've been holding back giving your life to Jesus because of the things that you've done, all of that can come to an end today if you want. Open your Bible and read today's scripture, and if you believe in those words, ask God to come in your heart and save you.
Amen. Coach Derrick, can you pray for our viewers, please?
Oh, yes, I can. Okay. Dear Lord, thank you for this time that we're able to spend with each other to speak about business and doing business differently, God. I want to pray for the audience to open their eyes to the things that you've put inside of them, the things that they can take to the marketplace, the different ways that they can use their current business to glorify you more in the marketplace, and so that they can live the life of abundance that you have said that we are able to live and have this life. So in the name of Jesus, I pray, amen.
For that prayer.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you again, Coach Derrick, for joining us. And we want our viewers to not only comment, but share this broadcast, because here we go, sharing is caring. So,
just drop for sure.
If you care about somebody, you will share. So again, share the broadcast, because we believe this is for someone for such a time as this. Until then, you guys keep moving in the marketplace.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning into Moving in the Marketplace. Join us here on Elevate Your Life Talk Radio.